everyone, welcome back to my channel, Travel Korea. Now guys, this video will be a little bit different from my previous videos because this is actually a Zoom interview or a Zoom meeting with a KGSP or Korean Government Scholarship Program scholar. So as I have mentioned, there are different types of scholarships here in South Korea. We have the KGSP, and we also have scholarships from private companies, from universities, laboratories, and professors. And given the fact that I am not a KGSP scholar, I am a scholar of my professor and my education is being supported by the fundings of his laboratory, I figured that it's best for us to know more about KGSP through a KGSP scholar. And actually, I feel thankful and lucky that I'll be able to interview this person for today's video because not only is he a KGSP scholar, but he has been a scholar ever since his college days. So his PhD degree, he was able to obtain it through KGSP, and his MS degree, he was able to obtain it through a Japanese scholarship, a Japanese government scholarship program. So I truly believe that we can learn a lot from this person for today's video. So without further ado guys, let's get started. So good evening Dr. Ronnie Serfawan, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to interview you about the Korean Government Scholarship Program.
Thank you for inviting me to share my experience in joining the KGSP scholarship program led by the Korean government.
Okay, so without further ado, my first question. So as we all know, there are different types of scholarship here in South Korea, one of which is the Korean Government Scholarship Program. So as a KGSP scholar, what would you think are the advantages of this program over the other scholarships?
So one advantages that I saw is the Korean program, the Korean language program. They're giving one year Korean language before they enter the university. They train the students for number one culture, actually, not just only language, but the culture
Like
in the
immersion?
actual university, because there's a lot of culture, work culture, laboratory culture, the family custom culture, etc. One thing that we concentrated is about the laboratory culture, how the professor deals with the foreigner students, and how, number one, how can we answer the professor politely? How are we going to act as a students
I
in
thought it was
response with
just Korean language. So even the culture, the
the culture
manners.
is we have actually Munwaswap, we call it culture class. So we have not just only the language. We go to different sites, different university also. We went to Jeju, we went to different restaurant, and how to use the proper table etiquette in Korea, and also the Sonsei, the teacher, asks as a professor, how are we going to act with their question, with their response as a students, of foreign students. They are molding us mentally, actually. They are molding us mentally how to deal with certain situations. We stayed actually 1 year in a different place, far from our university, to observe the different atmosphere for 4 seasons. So how are we going to deal with summer? How are we going to deal with spring,
Nice.
with autumn, with winter? So they have this preparation for us to enter the university, so that we can survive the 2 years, 3 years love life
Stay here, yes.
for the students. So that is one big advantage
Yes,
that
definitely.
the KGSP scholarship have.
Before proceeding to your master's or PhD, what topic level should you get before you proceed?
Actually, the requirement in the KGSP in my time, actually, I'm not sure the policy these days. Topic level 3 before we enter the university is topic level 3.
Okay, topic level 3. And then when applying for KGSP, there are actually a lot of requirements. So what can you say is the most important or most crucial among all of these requirements?
Actually, for me, it's the topic, because professor, your topic for the whole duration
The
of your
research
study. So
topic, the research plan.
the research topic, the professor definitely will scrutinize your research proposal. So if this is feasible enough, the professor will definitely ask you normally there are some pile of questions. If you pre-selected, professor will ask you maybe from email, from phone, or from video call. So
Mm-hmm.
he will actually ask you if you can really do it. Because to tell you frankly, living in a foreign country, you need to be independently
Yes,
enough
that's
to
true.
survive your course. So you don't have a family here in Korea, for example. You don't have a family to help you, or immediate friend to help you. You need to work independently because the support from the university or the support from the professor is not 100%. So normally he will just uh,
Comment.
not comment. Actually, he already giving you the whole task.
Mm. And you
So
manage everything.
he thinks that he can manage the whole duration of your study alone. But
Yeah.
he is there to support you, just only a support.
Mhm.
So you need to manage your time. So those are the most crucial things because the professor will think, is this student is capable enough? Is this student can really manage to do that task, to do that
Mhm.
research task? So that is one crucial things I think. So you should write it. Actually, you don't need to fake. You should tell them frankly what are your capabilities in your research task actually.
Okay. So, for those who are planning to apply to this KGSP, what will be your advice to them? Like, can you give us any tips how will our application stand out when we apply for this KGSP?
Oh, that is most actually if you really want to go abroad internationally, first year pa lang, starting from your first step in college as a freshman. So if you really want
Ah,
to go abroad, so number one, your grades, you should maintain your grade.
and you should
Uh,
establish it in college as early as in college.
yes, because number one, they look on the grades also. So
Yeah,
that
they
is
have the
what,
educate requirement.
they have these requirements. So number one requirements is your transcript of record. So definitely transcript of record is very important.
So my next question is, you are a government scholar even from your college days, and then your MS
Mm-hmm.
degree was also obtained from a Japanese government scholar, and your PhD is it from a Korean government scholar.
Mm.
So is there like a general tip in nailing these government scholarships in general?
So number one is if you have this goal, motivation. So my motivation that time is financial. So I really need to survive my college days because fifth year is thesis days. I need to
Mm-hmm.
buy some. I need to make a prototype. I need to buy something for the project, for the thesis project. That's why that is my goal, to have additional financial support. So that is my. If you have a good motivation, so definitely everything will fall into places. So my number one motivation that time, I don't have the notion. If you're a scholar,
Scholars.
you're a nerd. We have this term is scholar ng bayan in TUP. So, but that is I don't have that idea before. My
Mm-hmm.
only motivation that time is to have additional money or additional financial support. So I think my grades also, because during the selection they have this documents, those document requirements. So one important documents that I submitted is my grades. So I learned
Mm-hmm.
it also from my professor. Your transcript should sell you.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you really want to go abroad, try to have this good grades while in college
I see.
because it will help you. It will help you. So that is one pointers. And another one, interview, because these people who are interviewing you, professor or the
HR.
what's the not just only HR but the organization of the scholarship itself,
Mm-hmm.
they already know people like you for how many years,
They've
because
already
they are,
interviewed a lot of
yeah,
people.
they interviewed a lot of people. Actually, they know if you are lying,
Mm,
they know if you are telling the
sincere.
truth,
Mm,
they know if you are sincere, they know everything about people because they are dealing people for how many years. So if you're going
yes.
to tell a lie, if you are playing something, they will easily notice that. So try to be truthful, try to be yourself while during the interview because it helps. Because if you're telling the truth based on your experience, if you're telling the truth about yourself, everything will fall into smoothly directly.
Mhm.
So you don't need a script. So because these people who are interviewing people like us, for example, applying for this scholarship, they know people like you before you actually. So they know how, if you're truthful enough or sincere enough in answering those particular questions.
Mhm.
So, and then third, pray.
Yeah,
Just pray.
a lot of prayers.
The grades and be truthful and then pray. Actually, I'm not praying for. I will pass this. I'm praying that I hope I can face whatever the result is. Because if I'm going to fail, help me to overcome the failures. If I pass, help me also to overcome the next challenges. So I also, that is one of my favorite prayer. So help me actually, what will be the outcome? Help me to
Mhm.
overcome whatever will be the result is. So those three pointers are necessary actually if you are aiming for something, especially a scholarship like this.
I see. I think you have mentioned not more than just three advice and three tips. So thank you for that. And my last question is actually, it's also a personal question of mine, and it's also frequently asked question. After getting a degree in South Korea or from a foreign country, PhD or masters, what would be my possible job opportunities after getting the degree?
Actually, it depends on the course.
Mm-hmm.
So I met some Filipinos also. Their course is business management. So
In
they finish
Korea?
MBA. Yeah, in Korea.
Yes.
So they finish MBA in Korea. Right now they're working in Samsung. They're working
Ah,
in Samsung,
here
but not
in
in the engineering, field. But they are working in the customer marketing environment.
But in order
And also,
to work in a Korean company, we have to be fluent in the Korean language. Is that correct?
no,
Not
no,
necessarily.
actually, not necessary. I have a Korean friend actually. He keeps on inviting me to work in his company. I'm afraid to join in a firm like that because the problem is my Korean language. So I told him, no, my Korean language is just only basic because there will be a different words or different
Technical term.
conversation, especially during meetings. Koreans actually will not extend effort for you to translate everything in English. So they will talk definitely directly. He told me that no, it's not a problem because if the company really likes you, language is not a barrier, it's not a problem for
Oh,
as a requirements in a certain company. So you can work here it depends on your course. So
mm,
you can actually there are some invitation to for you if you want to teach. You can be a professor in Korea after having a PhD. And on the field right now, I'm working as a researcher. So you can work as a researcher. So, but the
as a
problem with
professor.
the researcher, it depends on the professor, it depends on the field, it depends on the
Contract. This
funded
is
aid
contract based.
contract also, and also from the funded agencies because there's a lot of agency giving provided the fund for this kind of project. So it depends also. And what else? There's a lot of opportunities here in Korea. It's up to you actually.
So yeah, that would be all, Dr. Sarfawan. Thank you so much for the advices. I could really grasp a lot of advice and tips for you, not just in Korean government scholarship, but in life in Korea, especially yeah, life in a foreign country. So thank you so much for your time and hope to see you soon.
All right. Thank you so much and stay safe.
Yes. Okay. You
Oh,
too, sir.